All right. So now we are streaming live on Facebook. I'm gonna go over here.
Got it.
This live on Instagram. All right. We're live on both channels now. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello. Hey.
All right, I'm excited to have you. Super excited. We are here with another Jam Tube episode with Slow Down, and we are live with Buddhagraph Spaceship, almost their entire band, missing one, Eric, right? Just one.
Yeah.
Uh, so you're our first more fuller interview. So I'm excited to get so many voices. We are, you guys are going to be playing Saturday night at Slow Down. What we're going to talk about on this interview, it's open and fluid, but what I've been kind of focusing on is, where you guys, like how you originated, the journey to coming into where you are now, and what you're excited about with Go Jam. And you guys obviously bring a unique perspective since you've been with us pretty much the whole time. I know that there's some new members that you guys will introduce, but you have a whole kind of inventory of like the stages that we've evolved from. So we can kind of discuss that as well as what you've seen over time and what you're excited about for our 10th year. And you guys will be celebrating, I think, 10 years as a band coming up, right? Starting in 2014 as well.
Correct.
There's a few bands, well, maybe one other that I know about. They're celebrating 10 years. And Hustle Souls that we interviewed this morning, or at least Billy Litz. I'm representing the Litz family right now. I wish I had a Buddhagraph Spaceship shirt. I should have worn my pants, those amazing pants that I had on, but I didn't think that far ahead. So my but let's talk about you now. I'm going to move it over because I feel like I've been talking already too much. So introduce yourselves. Tell us your story, how you got started, what you're doing now, and we'll go from there.
I am Robbie Rosado. I play bass, and I've been in the band for like 2.5 years now, and been in Flow Jam. This is going to be my third year playing Flow Jam, but the band originated with this guy.
Yeah.
I'm passing it along.
I'm Andrew Dindy. I play the drums. I try to. And I think I've been with the band since January, February. I'm new. I'm the baby.
He's being christened.
So Flow Jam's going to be my first official gig with the band. Yeah, super
Exclusive.
That's what he's doing.
He does know what he's doing. And I am Zach, and I have been here since the beginning, maybe even before the beginning. Originator, founder, 10 years as a band, yes, but the idea happened way before 10 years, so it's been a long making in the process. But yeah.
A long journey. So tell us about your music. What kind of music do you play? What inspired you as a band, and how did you get the name Buddhagraph Spaceship? Where did that come from?
It's a multi-part question.
It is.
I hate the question, what kind of music do you play? I find that so hard sometimes to answer because
good.
What we do draws from so many influences from so many different places. Every member that has ever been a part of this group has had such an eclectic background of experience and taste. Sometimes I cop out and I tell people, oh, we're just a jam band because it's kind of like an easy thing to write off in that industry. But I mean, we draw roots from folk, Americana, R&B, jazz, gypsy jazz, hip hop, reggae. We're kind of all over the spectrum, and it helps keep things fresh, new, and inspirational for us. You know, we kind of live by that motto that song is boss. And by that, I mean, when you cultivate an idea, a story, or a feeling per se, that initial idea as it starts is going to draw out what it initially wants to be. So we're kind of here to sort of cater to that, you know. So something one day might be a country western, you know, vibe, while the next day, you know, it vibes towards something else. We try the best we can to stay true to that, and to kind of do what we can to put into it to make the best expression that we can as far as art goes.
I can, yeah, resonate with that description because even in your bio, you say, you say like classified, you know, whatever exactly you, but go on a journey. And so, where did the photograph spaceship come?
So to answer that question, the band kind of started with myself and my younger brother and my neighbor Hector, who you've met before from past flow jams and past history with the band. It started in Virginia, Bluemont, where you're from, where we're both from, and we kind of transitioned it down to Southwest Virginia to Blacksburg, and you know, we were kind of playing around with the idea for a while of just like, you know, playing stages and getting out there and kind of trying to expose the world to the ideas and the things that we were creating. And we found this house. We kind of turned it into like the cliche classical band house. You know, we all lived together, and you know, we woke up and there was no living room. Like the living room was the practice room. It was kind of like you wander out of like your room dwelling to your instrument, grab a coffee and just start playing music in the morning sort of thing and do it all day until we like went to sleep at night. And we found some other members that we met like on the street or around town, and we kind of brought them in and started just kind of playing around with the idea. And we went through this phase where about 2 months, um, you know, none of us really knew what we wanted to call ourselves. We never really had an idea or like sort of a direction for it. So we'd have this game where like anytime a random thought popped into our mind, no matter where it was, we would shout it out. So like someone would be in the shower and they just like shout out an idea for a band name, or we'd be in the middle of eating dinner and someone would shout something out. And I just remember we were having kind of like a house party show. There was a couple hundred people in this really minuscule, decrepit house that we called our home. And we were all sitting around a table after the show. And I believe the initial concept was spit out by our first drummer, Seth, who was with us while we were in Blacksburg. And I believe it came out as, I think it was just Buddhagraph when it first came out, and then someone else was like, "Oh, well, what about like, you know, a phonograph type thing, and then like a phonograph spaceship, and then like somehow ultimately all of this like randomness accumulated into the Buddhagraph spaceship." And for some reason in that moment, everyone was just like, "Fuck yeah," you know. So we went with it and we stuck with it, and it's one of those names that it's so terribly hard to tell people your band name because they get it wrong and they never hear it right. You have to like enunciate it out for them, or they hear things like, you know, bluegrass spaceship or
Booty
like
grab.
Booty grab is the
spaceship.
one I always.
Everyone's like, is that booty grab?
Booty
Is what you're
grab.
saying? I like
Yes.
that. Booty grab. And I'm like, no, it's not booty grab. It's booty grab.
but it's odd enough to where when you put it on a poster, it doesn't necessarily define who you are in a sense, but it's odd enough to bring people in the door, and when they come into the door, they experience everything that really is the Buddhagraph spaceship, and that's what like, you know, makes them become part of the tribe, become part of the family. You know, there were definitely times when, you know, I or some of the other members had thought to ourselves like, you know, maybe we should change it, but it's like it's so far along now, and it's to a point where it's so established that, you know, it would be nonsensical to do that. And then also like the song that we have, like you are who you are, and like that's where we started. That's, you know, what we are. That's where we're going. And you know, if you think about it, there's a lot of ridiculous band names throughout history, and it's not really the name that matters. It's the message, it's the music, it's the intention, and above everything else, you know, it's the inspiration that we can bring to other people that matters. So that's the story of the name.
I actually have, I don't think I've ever heard that story. So I'm glad to finally know it because I mean, well, I have to get this actually. Give me like 2 seconds. 1 second.
We need some hold music.
I was about to say, should we start playing some Buddhagraph club jazz while we wait?
I'm about to bust out the bongos.
Please hold.
So, you know, the spaceship, this was from our very first, I took this home. I mean, I obviously took it to Asheville with me.
How
But
does
to like stand out, for example, okay, so like first year, Buddhagraph Spaceship comes and plays in our barn, our very first year. I didn't know this band, they just started. I didn't know anyone on my lineup except for Mateo Monk. And
to be clear, you wanted us to play in a run-in horse shed on a makeshift pallet stage that was sitting above a bunch of horse flies and horse manure, and I was like, no, I'm just going to build a stage over there.
no, okay, the first, yes, actually, we still made a stage in the horse like area. That was your idea, and that was a great idea because we had a view of the mountains. But the first year we did have this really makeshift stage. I had was like put up day of, and yes, Buddhagraph decides, no, we're not gonna go there. We're gonna go inside the barn. Not to mention it was freezing. It was freezing cold.
It was really cool.
So they moved into the barn, and what I was immediately impressed with is that they created their own experience. Like you guys created your own experience, or a different experience that, like, it was just. I was super impressed because first of all, I didn't even know that like the power could sustain that in the barn, and so it was like this new aha moment that you figured out. I wouldn't have been able to figure that out at all. And it was very, very impressive. And I remember just like it was at the end of the night, and it was like me, Brian James, and a couple other people celebrating, and just really, I was also really impressed with your sound. I thought obviously that you're probably one of the best bands there, and obviously over the 10 years you've sustained, you've had something special that you carried it like. So this was like left in our barn, and it was like like that first feeling of just like, whoa, something special just happened in this barn, and you guys were the like instigators and creators of that, like way beyond my own thinking of what was possible. So it gave such inspiration to me and for Go Jam in general to keep going, because I felt that there's like this talent in the area that needed to be highlighted in a way that wasn't just being in a bar setting. So thank you for inspiring and triggering that inside me to be able to like spread it throughout, region. So yeah, this painting, however, like weird, I don't know who did it, I don't know what, but I know it was done during your set, and obviously you're highlighted, and I don't know if you can see, but there's a naked woman being, I think, zapped into space, and maybe this is take me. Yes, that says take me.
Beam me up.
And Virginia, yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool, right? And is that an egg? What is this? I don't even know. Up to interpretation.
know, maybe a moon or a sun.
Yeah,
Either way,
that's probably more perfect.
it's beautiful. At the end of the day, you know, that's why we do it. The intention and all of the music. Like, yeah, we like to play stages. We like to travel the country. We like to pretend to be rock stars and all that bullshit. But like, the true intention for all of it is, like you're saying, to be a catalyst. You know, if we can go into an area, create an experience, create an environment where people feel comfortable to be who they are and to express themselves, maybe that person will leave that show and inspire someone else, you know, and who knows, maybe someone will leave the show and become the next Charles Mingus or the next Pablo Picasso, or pick up a paintbrush, or like write a book. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of art, but like if you can perpetuate that sense of creativity and inspiration in a community, and it grows and it builds and people surrender to the flow, so to speak, um, in my personal opinion, the world would be a much better place.
Oh, I agree. I agree. So, okay. Well, you guys over there, I like have to like kind of lean into the because the phone is like blocking you. But just from my side, not for the viewers. Um, but tell me, okay, what are you most excited for at Flow Jam, playing Saturday set, you knowing who's going to be on the lineup, you knowing the vibe, the people, what are you most excited about? And I would love to open that up to all three of you. I know you have different stories and perspectives. And also, Zach, I should mention for everyone who's watching, he also runs our main stage sounds. So if you're a band watching, love on this guy because he's gonna make you sound really great.
Sold out. I like to fly under
He
the
sold him
radar.
out. He was trying to just be like, nah.
Under the
Muffle your
radar.
drums.
Batman.
Under the radar. Answer that question. You go.
This is gonna be my third Flow Jam, and Flow Jam was actually my first time 3 years ago. That was like my first like actual like sleepaway like camp out festival I've ever been to. I've always been to like day festivals or festivals that like you like stay at hotels nearby and then do the festivals or any of that shit. But I've been in Buddhagraph Spaceship for like maybe like 2 or 3 months and played maybe like 2 or 3 shows, and then it was Flow Jam, and then I had no idea what to expect. And being there it ended up being amazing and awesome, very very gratifying experience, not just for playing the type of stage that it is, and just the people there, like healing event of all different shapes and sizes. But that being said, this is Andrew's first time coming, and I'm really excited for him to come and experience that as well. And I'm going to pass that back on to you now.
So my experience with the band has been contained to this beautiful studio here in Leicester, North Carolina.
Sandy Mush.
Oh, Sandy Mush.
Sandy
Excuse
Mush.
me.
And Lester.
You gotta know which mush you're in.
I'm a little more proper.
But yeah, that can sound more depressing to the naked ear than it actually is, because it's been super special to like come in here and be welcomed by these guys, and not only that, but like we connect on a musical plane that like I've been playing in bands since I was 12, and I've only experienced it like maybe twice with people. So we just like continue to foster this chemistry in here and create. And I'm excited to come to Flow Jam and get on stage with them and like share that chemistry that we have to what seemingly is a very like community-based event, which I think the music we play is perfect for that kind of scene, because it's the music like kind of projects like the hardships, the joy, and everything in between in life. And like, I'm excited to like share that energy with a bunch of like-minded people, and then get to know those people between the shows. Do some yoga, probably.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been trying for 10 years to get these guys into yoga.
My girlfriend is super into it, and she's coming up because it's her birthday. So you'll see me out there on the mat for sure.
I want to see Zach do yoga.
Meeting to some people on Instagram. We've got Chad was here just a little while ago. I think maybe Colin. I saw Colin last night and Chad last night at
J-Red?
J-Rad. Yeah.
Nice.
You guys will laugh at me. I was invited and I had no idea. I thought for some reason that J-Rad was like a hip hop artist.
I mean, I can
No,
see
that
J-Rad.
makes sense.
That goes back to it goes exactly like you don't know what a band sounds like according to their name, like what we were talking about earlier.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And then like even when we were like
Right.
I made this comment and you guys know me, so it's probably like you're not surprised, it's also really funny. I got there and like we started listening to it and then like later on I was like, oh yeah, this opener, it was like 6 to 10. So like I also thought that there was gonna be an opener. So like when we got there and like it was him and or actually the band, and then I was like, this is a really great opener. Like when is the actual band coming on? And he's like this is the band. Oh my gosh. It was so funny.
This is all
Um, it was really great. Really great. I liked it a lot. It was really
Grateful Dead 2.0.
what?
Yes.
Grateful Jazz. Yeah, I said Grateful Dead 2.0.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
love Twitter. I love
Sean
Dark
Collin,
Star.
like he was like I guess they were in the center and I was on the side and he was on the way to the bathroom and I saw him synchronistically. I always love when you see people you know at like big crowds like that.
I will say, I'll
What?
shout out to the Joe Russo homies. I love Further. I love Kimmick. I love Dark Star. I love all those. But if you want to listen to Grateful Dead music, go see J-Rad.
They're crazy musicians.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You like them?
I do. I appreciate them.
They formulated their own like jam style. And
Yeah.
It's very, very unique. But then they honor the tunes so
Yeah.
well, like everybody can sing off every member of the band. It's super cool.
I had a
It's a-
great
How the Grateful Dead music has almost become traditional standards within the jam band scene. It's
For
like you look
sure.
at like old time music or like old swing jazz standards and things that just become like timeless and like the way
Yeah.
history goes.
It was great. So here's a question for you. What is since you guys tour a lot, maybe not recently, we've been touring a lot. What has been, and this could be different for you because I know that like as playing together has only been a couple years. This new dynamic right here. Um, what has been your craziest, most like maybe weirdest, scariest, although I feel like Zach, I don't know if he even gets scared, but yeah.
You scared, Zach?
Get scared, Zach. Horror story, like either on your way to an event, at the event, on the way back from an event, and it could be different for you. It doesn't have like it could be like Buddhagraph, or it could have been like in other bands that you've experienced. So give it a think. It's time.
In my answer in this one, I feel like any of the stories I have from our, Lord Kettle. Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if I should talk about them on a live stream with the masses.
That's exactly what Billy said. He was like, I think I would tell you like when we're not live streaming. And then he came up with the story when he was like, I need to think of a better story than me getting stuck at Flow Jam.
We're live streaming. Don't sell Billy out. Watch out. Asheville Fam takes care of Asheville Fam. I mean, everybody's got the horror stories, potentially like being shafted by a venue or, you're on stage and you're playing and like stuff starts blowing up on stage because the electrical powering and stuff isn't right, then you got to find a way to make the set work, or like, you know, you're at a festival and trying to find a band member that didn't show up for the set, so you're on like, you know, the PA system, like conch shell sounding for like, you know, your peoples and stuff like that. There's been all kinds of craziness, and it's to be expected. You know, you're constantly living day by day on the road, and you know everything's forever changing.
We've all
So-
been doing this a while too, so it's just like I feel like a lot of some of us are a little bit older and everything is now is we're all kind of pretty calm. Zach's really good at keeping us in line when we're on the road. We always call him Dad. He's like, yep, let's go. Come on, everybody, wrap it up.
Billy, that we actually did share. He was like, I got to come up with a better story than me getting stuck at Flow Jam. And then we started talking about you guys like trying to get him out with the Jeep, and like,
Oh, yeah.
good old boy, like try, and then the guy comes with the tractor, and like the moral of the story, Billy was like, I really appreciate Jeeps now, because like Jeeps can definitely, like, I'm in a Prius. Like, that ain't getting nobody out. Like,
There's no time like the present for hood rat shit.
so, okay. I feel like that was a cop out. I feel like you can come up with one story that isn't like obviously getting ripped off, work related, blah, blah, blah. Come on. I know you got like at least, and it could be, you could be talking about a drummer that no longer, you know, that
No.
that we don't know about.
What are the other drummers? Family's family. Never.
If you know, you know.
So loyal. He's like, I don't even like.
All right.
We're
I
not
would say
throwing anyone under the bus. We're just thinking of a, you know, like, give us
I
something.
got
Tell her about the Breakfast Club.
No, not the Breakfast Club is why we can't have amplified music after hours at Flow Gym. So I'm not talking about the Breakfast Club. No, I'll give you a crazy experience. When we were still based out of Blacksburg, Virginia, we worked with some friends of ours that used to run the Pink Moon Festival up in West Virginia. Great people, and we kind of came together with them and rallied and created a series of showcases, which eventually led up to a festival that we created and threw as well, that was in opposition to the Mountain Valley Pipeline that was being implemented throughout West Virginia and various other places. We had friends that were being affected by it, and you know, it was a terrible thing to the point where, like, you know, people could like light the water from their sink on fire, type sort of thing. But we ended up doing the festival. It was at a time of the year. It was a little cold out, but there ended up being like a really crazy lightning hailstorm while we were playing our main stage set through it, to the point where like anytime like any one of us would try to sing, we were getting like electrocuted by like the microphones, and like stuff got to like be kind of sketchy, but like we were able to kind of pool enough of our equipment in and get everybody to go back to their tents to where we could still play for people in their tents, which was an interesting experience because, you know, there's no audience, and the music we play sometimes can very much feed and grow off the energy of sharing with community sort of thing. But I don't know. There's a first time for everything, and to say that you played in the middle of like a lightning hailstorm and continued to like make it through it was pretty interesting. And I'll pass it off to them for some stories really quick. I have to take a phone call that's important. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay. Oh, leaving your boys. Okay. Up to
Oh,
you.
shit. I'm going to take the hot seat.
Yeah, we're gonna come
Okay,
closer.
so, all right, so this is Andrew. He's the new drummer. I know we already went over that. And I'm Robbie. And I could probably tell you some weird stories back from my my punk rock band days. All we did was travel around Florida. We were called Hitman for a Heart, right? And we would play like the college scene things. I don't know if I want to tell this.
Dude, I've been racking my brain because, like, you know, all of my other bands have people in them who have corporate jobs, and I have a corporate job.
I don't know. Let's just say there were people walking into rooms where they shouldn't be and peeing in places that they shouldn't and that kind of stuff. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it right at that. Those days are way in the past.
So that was the venue you were playing at?
What's that?
That was a
Yes.
venue you were playing?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That story could have been better. I'm sorry.
I know you gave us a very vague idea of like what.
I did a hard U-turn on it.
I
know. It was about to be really good, and then now it's like, okay. It doesn't have to be bad. It can be like a good, cool, synchronistic story. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to
I just thought of it. Actually.
Oh, he's got one. Go for it.
what?
I mean,
Send it.
this is public knowledge now, and I was never directly associated with the guy. But
Let's do it.
so I was playing this venue in Birmingham, Alabama called Zydeco. It gets like pretty solid flow of like intermediate to higher level artists. And we're opening for Boyd Tinsley,
All right.
who is the violin player from Dave Matthews Band, who has now become infamous. I don't know if you know this story.
No.
But yeah, we were just like passing Boyd Tinsley in the green room. And it was like this huge celebrity moment. And we're like, man, we finally made it. You know, like we're playing with some notable guys. And we were like walked out and we're like, damn, this is his tour bus. Like this is so cool. And then probably a week later, like all of these stories come out about like sexual harassment allegations against him that were pretty graphic.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and like the tour was canceled, and so I was kind of witness to that.
Oh god damn!
It sunk our ego really quick. We were like, well, we can't tell anybody we did that because he seems like he's not a good guy.
Damn, we were like all hyped up to be like riding that wave, and then
I mean, I was ready to tell people for the rest of my life that I opened for Boyd Tinsley, and now this is probably the first time I've mentioned it since that happened.
I didn't know anything about that, so you could have told the story, and then
Maybe you just broke it.
No, it was super public. Like I think he was criminally charged.
So, what about you? What are you looking forward to Flow Jam this year?
Ooh, nice turnaround.
Now.
Nice turnaround. I am totally looking forward to. Well, this was the first year that I kind of took the reins on selecting the bands, and so I feel like I brought back a lot of bands that were popular and that like energized the crowd. I'm ready to get energized and like celebrate. It's our 10-year anniversary, so to do something for 10 years like every year, I think is just such an accomplishment that I am really excited to celebrate with everyone and to hear a lot of like the new bands that we're bringing on that I haven't heard before, and also obviously the workshops. I mean, what I love about Flow Jam, and obviously I'm biased because I kind of created it, but I love the balance that there is that you don't get at other festivals that at least I've attended, that are either super just focused on music or super just focused on yoga and doesn't have that like fun jammy vibe and is a little bit more at least a little too serious for my liking. And then you got Burning Man, which has amazing art installations and amazing creativity, amazing workshops, but you don't that live music, like it really takes you to kind of like really search out for it there. So it's like something that I don't get to experience, and I don't think a lot of people get to experience all of that in one. And I love introducing new people to either new music or new ways of like seeing the world, like a lot of the healing workshops, you know, whether that be the yoga, the movement, dance, improv, cacao ceremonies, you know, visiting the vendors and getting a Reiki session or a sound healing session. There's so much to experience and to do it like kind of in a way that you get all of it at once. And it's just, I'm very excited to put it all together and see how it comes to life this year, because I kind of brought everyone on my wish list. Like I kind of went all out this year, you
Yeah,
know,
the
and
line super stacked. Is we're excited, and I'm sure there's gonna be sit-ins and things like that, and lots of friends are playing, and all the homies, and the new bands, and I'm excited about Sneezy. Sneezy's fucking
Yeah.
dope. I love those guys,
They're
and
really
I've only seen them play. I've never even met them, and I'm looking forward to meeting those guys. Shout out to Sneezy.
shout out to Sneezy. Yeah, I just sent them a bunch of flyers to Illinois. Another thing I'm really excited about is to see these posters everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Because I sent them out to like 30 different people, and then I also did deliveries in Asheville, and I've also been, you know, putting them out myself. That's something I haven't done, or at least we haven't been very good at. And to do that feels really good, and to get new people. We've put different ticket packages up, so uh there's like new opportunities for people to come on board, whether they are looking to spend the full entire weekend and have a glamping tent, which Robbie, thank you to your vendor coordinator girlfriend, Jess, who will be with us. And I mean, we've got, by the way, the vendors are incredibly talented and insane. We've got like over 20 vendors already. We've had tons of applications. We've actually had to turn people away because we just don't either have the space or really just the space. So we've had to, you know, this is the first year that we've had like just an abundant amount of food vendors. So we're going to have new food vendors this year, along with last year's favorites, and new people. And yeah, and we're going to have an actual MC this year. I'm excited for that. We've never had an MC. So you guys will actually be, everyone will be introduced and feel really special instead of, you know, having to introduce themselves, which, you know, is okay. But also, like, you know, there's just so much up leveling happening this year that I'm, you know, if you're new coming on, like I know you are, have to lean over this way. If I look this way, because I have a computer over here, it just might look like I'm not looking at you, but then I can see you. But like, since, you know, it'll be your first year with us, I think, yeah, you're gonna see it you're gonna see it in its like, you know, kind of like the culmination of all of the work that has gone into to doing this for 10 years, which Zach knows all too well. He's definitely lifted me up out of tears and frustration and wanting to give up, and also like brought the inspiration from the beginning. You know, if it hadn't been for Buddhagraph Spaceship, I don't know. I mean, I definitely probably would have kept going, but there's something about like seeing that and experiencing it, and then also wanting Buddhagraph and Mateo to get together. It was kind of like me trying to impress my brothers, you know, and being like, okay,
Sure.
let's try to get them together and like form this amazing experience, not only for myself, first and foremost, but for other people to experience, because it's so unique, you know? So
Yeah, and like Zach is like we were talking about a little bit earlier. Is while he's away, he's actually on a call right now, booking us a gig actually. But
keep talking.
that's why he had to walk away for a second. But it was an important call. But yeah, as a lot of people don't know that, especially on like the nights at Flow Jam where we're playing, or Zach sits in with a lot of bands and everything like that, he's still running sound and busting his ass and running all over the place with his, not really with his head off because he actually knows what the hell he's doing, opposed to some of us. But That's a dig at myself.
It's true for me too, bro.
But yeah, that guy, he seriously is playing on stage and running sound and making sure things are running according to schedule and doing all that shit while we're
Playing.
yeah.
It's
So kudos to that guy. He's somewhere around.
yeah, mad props to Zach. Where did he go? That's okay. So, all right. Another
That's right.
question.
All right, I think we're doing okay without him.
Excellent. We're great.
Let's hear more about Andrew.
He definitely has been mentioned in a lot of my lives, actually. You know. So, anyways, what? Okay, let me think of a question.
We were supposed to talk about dogs, right?
Oh yeah, the dogs. Let's talk about dogs because that's another unique aspect of Flow Jam is that you can actually buy it.
What did I miss?
We just got on the dogs.
On the
Yeah.
dogs?
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
you didn't miss that much. I just talked about some random story that took a beeline into a different direction, which basically was like people urinating on themselves. But we don't know the details of that story. And then some harassment story. And now we're on to dogs. So that's and then we talked about you for a little bit as well. You know, basically just saying how great you are and the foundation that was set here. Anyways, let's move on to the dogs because I will say that Flow Jam is one of the only festivals that allow dogs, and I know that there's been varying degrees of support on that. But this year, we actually, and let me go get this real quick so you guys can riff for a second, and I'll be back in 2 seconds because I'm going to show you what we're giving the dogs this year.
Okay, so while we have your attention, guys, is what I really want to talk about is how you can't park on parkways but you drive on driveways.
That's not how that goes.
Airports. Airports. How about airport food?
Oh, God. Oh.
I thought you were going to riff a little longer. All right.
Oh,
So,
It was about to start. You came back too soon.
I didn't want to waste the general public's time.
no, they love you. We want more of this, honestly. Okay, so the dogs are getting bandanas either in purple or in blue. I may have gone a little bit bananas on the bandanas, guys.
Oh, yeah.
We're actually going to get it screen printed, so it'll have Flow Jam on it. But I mean,
Can I you wear one? Are they just for dogs?
I mean, yeah, you can obviously we can be human bandanas too. I think they're a little bit small. I think they're like made for dog. I don't know, but
Only dog bandana.
I'm pretty excited about that. And Robbie, so we talked about Jess briefly, who's our vendor coordinator, and we have like over 20 vendors coming. We have vendors that are trying to legalize mushrooms. They're going to be talking about the benefits of utilizing mushrooms. There's going to be our glass blower that was, I think it's, why am I blanking on his name? Glass blow. That was with us in 2021. Remember, actually riff for one more minute because I'm going to show you what he did and I think you'll remember. Do you remember when that girl came over? She bought all this glass and then she came over and gave us gifts, and some of the gifts she ended up taking back, but she didn't take this one back. Hold on.
Was it the glass window?
You remember that, Zach?
Oh, I remember. There was some very adult-oriented glass gifts that she was gifting people.
She had a dildo too.
Yeah.
I think
Yes, she
she
did.
had a gloss dildo. Okay.
Those are cool.
That's not a dildo.
Um,
No, this isn't a dildo, no. But this is like look at this awesome piece of glass that he created. Like someone made this.
That's crazy.
yeah.
So okay, he's coming back. Then we were just talking briefly about the food trucks, or the food coming back. And before we leave the house and before we wrap up, because I know you guys got rehearsal and have practice to do, but you're bringing your dogs, Robbie. Can you tell us a little bit? And then you're also staying in one of our glamping tents. You are going to be staying in the King
It's
Glamping.
not no, it's that's not the work that I was doing out is I just got lucky enough to have a partner that
Created that deal.
this is but yeah, I'm bringing my dogs this year and look out because I got a Great Dane. His name is Doobie. He looks like a cow. You won't miss him. And you also I have a little
Doobie
that'll fit him for sure. But yeah, that one will fit him too. He has a real skinny neck, but he's a good boy, and he'll be hanging out.
I am not bringing my dogs.
I'm not.
Oh hey!
This is road crew. This is our road crew manager, Grant.
He takes care of things behind the scenes.
Yes, he does.
Hey Grant.
And in between.
Damn, I wish I was there. Okay, so Robbie, wait, quick question. What color does Doobie want and what color does
You're gonna have to ask them.
I think Doobie's the blue and Biscuit's the purple.
I think that kind of sounds
Yeah.
pretty,
that was my instinct too. Okay, so before we wrap up, I just want to share where we can find you. So how can we find Buddhagraph Spaceship? Where do we go? And is there anything coming up that we should know about to find you?
all musical platforms, wherever you listen to music, that's where you can find Buddhagraph Spaceship, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Apple Music, whether it's YouTube, anything along the lines. The dark web as well, and also we have lots of new things coming out toward the middle to end of the summer and fall. We're going to be recording a new album. On top of all that, be looking out for lots of shows coming up. Singles very, very soon. We have done some regrouping, and we are ready to come back out onto the world.
Yeah, so obviously you got a new drummer, so we're excited to experience the Andrew vibes, right? That's your name, right?
Correct. You did a good job.
Good job.
I like said it not confidently, and then like you guys didn't say.
Oh, just trust in yourself. You'll be alright.
What?
Just trust in yourself. You'll be alright. Believe.
I know you're so wise, Zach. You're so.
I don't know about that.
So BuddhagraphSpaceship.com, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That is the website.
We'll put the link underneath. We'll tag it here. Is there anything else that you guys want to share with our audience before you get on with your practice / you want to play us off?
I want to play you off. I don't know. We don't have all of our band here.
Nothing's turned on right now.
I think it would be fitting if the band was here, but that'll just make you want to come to the show to hear the music.
Yes,
you know?
this is true. So you guys will be throwing it down Saturday at Flow Jam, the same day as the Kind Thieves, Sleazy, and
Yes.
Shout out to the Kind Thieves as well.
Kind Thieves, all the homies, you know,
Sleazy,
Billy Litz, Natalie Brooke, all those people are fam. Also, you know, watch out Saturday night. We have a lot of friends there the same night, so look out for some special sit-ins with our group, and then rumor has it I might be potentially doing some lead guitar with Sneezy. So we'll see how the community happens, but it's gonna be a good time.
Ooh, I didn't know that rumor. I like that rumor.
We'll see.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's exciting. I haven't seen Sneezy live. I've never seen Consumer Source live, so I know that. Yeah, and I mean, obviously, I know that you guys will be bringing out some new stuff, so it'll be brand new. Every experience that I see your set is a new amazing experience, and I'm really, really looking forward to celebrating.
I have one thing I want to say. One thing is,
Yeah,
if you're
please say something.
doing this right now and you don't follow Buddhagraph Spaceship or any of the other bands, get in here. Is please follow us, a like, a share, things like that. Very, very easy to do. Goes such a long way for us. And Eric just got here, actually.
Hey.
Yes. Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, we have to extend just a few more minutes so we can get your take on things. Just, I know that you guys are gearing up for your practice, so I don't want to take too much longer. But since you're here, Eric, can you just introduce yourself and tell your story of when you entered Buddhagraph and what you're most looking forward to at Flow?
Yeah, so my name's Eric. I actually joined Buddhagraph, what was it, 2018? Late 2017, something like that. I had actually been in a band with our old drummer, Colin, years before, and I ran into him when we were out at a show, and he said, "Hey, you got to come jam with my new band." So I did, and really enjoyed playing with those guys. These guys, or actually it was just Zach, as far as the people that are here at that time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they sort of convinced me to play a show with them, but I was thinking I wouldn't want to do any more than local shows because I had a job and stuff. And then
Be a person.
as soon as so I played a couple shows, and then we did a show in Johnson City, just not really on the road. It's only like an hour away, but I was hooked. And I was like, I'm going to play every show. I'm in this band.
I'm in this band.
Yeah, I've been in it ever since.
You drank the Kool-Aid.
I did drink the Kool-Aid. It was delicious.
You did. I remember.
I make a good Kool-Aid.
I think 2018 was your first Flow Jam. I think, right?
Yeah, my first Flow Jam was actually just very shortly after I decided I was going to be in the band.
Yes.
It was at the old location.
The barn, right?
Yeah,
In Loversville.
I helped Colin build the railing.
That's right.
Right. I remember. Yes.
So it wasn't so
Maybe
scary.
the year that we were climbing up a ladder, and then the next year you guys made it happen and built a staircase, which was very impressive. Very impressive. There's nothing Buddhagraph Spaceship can't figure out when it comes to performing. Right? Wouldn't you say that was true? Like, you guys have figured out some pretty precarious situations. Just like you were saying, Zach, earlier, you figured out how to play in a hailstorm.
Yeah.
The show must go on. If you build it, they'll come, right?
So, Eric, what are you most looking forward to at Flow Jam this year? I know one of your stories that you had from last year, you and Robbie, one of your best experiences was floating on the lake.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Zach was gone. We talked about how Zach is like the gears behind the main stage, and while you guys are like playing in the lake.
Yeah. Zach's being dad, and we're the
dad of the band. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say, Flow Jam. Last year was the most fun that I've ever had at Flow Jam, and I just have more fun every year, probably because I, am more, I know you, and I know more people there, and it really feels like home.
It's a family up there.
It is, and I'm really excited. I've been looking forward to it. all year because I think, well, last year it was probably the most fun that I had at any, you know, gig or just anywhere. Honestly, it was such a good time. And there's a lot of people that I know there now, you know. So, but you know, we don't like hang out outside of a festival setting. So whenever I go there, there's, you know, a whole handful of people that
Like seeing your friends.
yeah, exactly. I got and honestly, I'm really terrible with names, and there's a couple of people that I won't remember their name, even though we've hung out like 3-4
I think
years.
this guy named Jay Duck is maybe one
Oh,
of your
dude, no, J Duck. Actually,
literally, I hung out. Aaron was like, I gotta find J Duck last year. And I'm like, who the fuck is that?
we text each other pretty regularly. I love
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I love that. Every time he's like, say hi to Colin and Eric. Like, how are they doing?
Oh yeah, he's the nicest guy. Plus, well, we'll probably end up hanging out until the sun comes up at least one time.
Yeah. And Flint Blades coming back. I know you guys.
Yeah, that guy's. I love that instrument he plays. I forget what it's called.
This something stick.
Yeah. It's somebody's name. That guy's name Stick.
It's like Wagyu beef, but it's not.
It's like that. It's
Or-
different. Yeah, no, but it's really, really cool. He's super talented. I just met him the first time last year.
He's really talented.
Well, thanks to your recommendations, you know, he's now gonna play on the main stage on Thursday, so he's gonna help set the stage. You know, since Mateo there. What?
The other thing I was going to mention is that last year we set up an impromptu jam session. Like I think it was the last night, maybe, and we used, you know, I forget who's like PA and stuff. But we should do that again, but like maybe we could use the main stage.
Actually, guess who already put that on my radar?
Was
Rob
it
and
you?
Jess.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
They already were like, and then Zach made sure he was like, I'm not gonna have to work that, right? And I'm like, no, it's gonna be an acoustic jam session. Yes. Yeah.
If you're looking to jam, just come look for this guy at Flow Jam and ask him to jam, and he'll say yes.
This is true.
I will say yes. You're right. 100% guaranteed. Unless I'm about to play our set, then I won't.
If you catch him at 6 a.m., he
I'll
might.
ask you a question. Who are you? Well, I'm going to ask you 2 more questions, and I promise I'll let you go. But I should have just come over because then we could just like stream the whole thing. But anyways, 2 more questions. One is, okay, this is for Eric because he just got here. Who are you most excited? I don't even know. You probably don't even know, but here's who's playing Saturday. I want to know like who, I guess maybe not to favor anybody, but like, you know, as a band, like who are you most excited to get in with, to play with? We've got Time Thieves, we've got Steezy, we've got Consider the Source. Who else is playing on Saturday? A few others. I can't in my mind, but what are you? What's the vibe? And then of course the day before we've got the Litz. We've got this new reggae band who I'm excited to debut, who's from Richmond. They're called Mighty Joshua and Zion Number 5. Really powerful voices there. And Hustle Souls will be on Friday. So, what I was going to say is that's the first time. I talked to Billy earlier today, and he said it's the first time that Hustle Souls and the Litz have played a festival together on the same day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for everybody, but I will say that I think, were you asking me who I'd be excited to play with or to see?
Yeah. Let's either or.
Okay. Well, man, I'm excited for everybody. I'm really excited to see the Kind Thieves, and I just wanted to shout them out because they're buddies, and I love those guys. He did. Colby was in the band when I first joined. He was playing bass.
He was. That guy's like, fam.
Yeah.
Does fam as it goes.
kinds.
All of them are. Those guys are our brothers for
Yeah.
sure.
100%. They have my old Nord Electro too.
That's what
what-
Tansy plays.
Yeah, it's a Tansy plays.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yes, I am very, very excited for that. And I know that there'll be maybe some sit-ins for this stuff. Excited for the improvisation that'll be happening.
I'm excited to see my friends, all of them. I mean, Austin Litz, Billy Litz, all those guys, Natalie Brooke, the Kind Thieves, they're all homies, and the lineup itself is full of so many people that I know, and it's wonderful to just be able to be in an area and share an experience with them. And then, like I was saying earlier, just the whole sit-in things, like you never know what's going to happen at a festival. So, I'm most excited about that.
Got my glass ball, but it's okay. It's up on your thing. Eric, I don't know if I showed you this, but
Oh, that's cool. Who made that?
I don't know. It was left in our barn.
If you made this painting, please comment.
Yeah,
like
if you made this painting, please
We would
comment.
like to
We'd love to
credit.
credit you.
It looks like might have been like a collaborative effort between some folks that were there.
I think so, maybe, yeah. But so this is something that was created during
It looks like there's another painting that goes along with it.
Yeah,
Looks like
maybe-
there's
It's a
another painting.
series.
and left one in the barn. This was left after the very first time, before you even knew about Buddhagraph, Spaceship in 2014. This was the start. I can always maybe I'll get some money for it one day, and you guys can sign it like when you
Give the artist some money for it one day.
If you sell it, I think you should pay the artist.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the artist will show up then, Okay. So the last thing, I had two questions. I already forget what the last one was for you, Eric. But I guess, is there anything that you wanted to share? We've kind of shared where we can find you and your upcoming stuff, and anything else that you wanted to add, Eric, or anyone else over there? Now that we've got the full band, so exciting to be able to talk to all of you, and yeah.
Eric, where can we find you on a random Monday morning?
Probably at my house working,
No,
typing them keys.
all social media, music platforms, Spotify.
Yeah.
Once again, all that good stuff.
Awesome. So BuddhagraphSpaceship.com. You can also check out our lineup page at FlowJamFestival.com. You will find I believe their Spotify is on there. If not, all the information that you would need to know to be able to follow these guys, support them, buy their merch, because I know that they're going to have fantastic merch, since the merch person is just so also happens to be our vendor coordinator, and she's very awesome and organized. So I know that you're going to be coming out with some cool stuff, as are we. We just, like I said, Eric, you may have missed it, but we're gonna have bandanas for the dogs that have Flow Jam on them. And
Put it on. Let's see how it looks.
what?
Put it on. Let's see how it looks.
Well, I also
I love it.
yeah, it's
Very fashionable.
it's a little small for humans. Like they had it was specifically for dogs, so but you can also just use it as a human one too, I'm sure, or hang it up. There's lots of things you can do with it.
It's species neutral.
Hell yeah.
It's species neutral, he said.
Well, let's go.
You guys, we're also getting socks. We have two pairs of two colors and different versions of socks, and we're gonna have tanks that we're collaborating with Wax On Studio in West Asheville, and they're a tie-dye, boxy dye thing. So they're gonna be doing crop tops for us and sweatshirts and t-shirts. So
crop tops.
Get your merch game on. Support your people. And wait. Okay, one more thing before we go, and I promise I'll let you go. But I'm going to show people. Do you still have the pants? Is it worth showing? Do you guys still have the?
We don't have pants anymore, but I will say merch-wise, we have a wonderful hand-done foil print by a wonderful artist in Asheville, Mr. Levy of Asheville Art Family. We have some overstock left, and we're going to be running a sale on it through Flow Jam. So if
Want to
you're
show
there,
it? Do you have it? Can you show it to us? Do you have it here? On the wall.
Yeah.
it's on the wall. I might be able to hold it.
Don't have one around that I can hold up behind it for you.
It's inside. I'll see if this works. It might not.
Ooh, yeah. Hell yeah.
It's kind of hard to see, but it's he actually came out to our 200-acre farm, and he kind of took some pictures of all the animals and stuff that live on our farm and hand drew them, and it kind of became an eternal part of Buddhagraph family. So
Beautiful. Okay, well, I'm gonna let you guys get on with your practice. Everyone be seeing these flyers out. We're gonna be putting these flyers all around Asheville. And we've got stickers. I made out over 30 packages in the past 3 days. Stuff. So get your tickets at jamfestival.com. We've put up day passes. There's an echo, so you can hear an echo. We put up day passes, and for the first time ever, due to all of your suggestions, we put up music only evening passes. So if you can't make it the full day, if you can't make it the full weekend, we're making it super easy for you to buy a ticket and come and see the music in the evening, 6 and on. So there's really no excuse not to show up and join us and experience it, whether you can come all 4 days, which obviously is recommended to get the full-blown experience of all of the amazing artists on our lineup, but you can also do 3 days, 2 days, and overnight, 1 day, and an evening. So there's so many choices, but I would highly recommend coming and making sure you're there on Saturday so you can see Buddhagraph Spaceship and see the amazing lineup that will be Saturday. So get your tickets at flowjamfestival.com, and I'm very excited and happy to have been able to talk to all of you, and I'm just super grateful for all of you, and thank you so much for your support, and I love you guys, Buddhagraph Spaceship.
We love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, I'm gonna end it on Instagram. I'm gonna end it on Facebook.